Okay, howdy everybody. This is Joey, or JCat4 as you may have seen me online. And I'm the guy who's working on quote-unquote porting the JoeyJoeBags software over to the Mac. I just wanted to create something really quick to, help maybe some folks that get a little confused or concerned and maybe don't know how to do some of this stuff. And also maybe address some concerns and some things that we are hoping to fix and work on in the future. So of course, I'm going to go ahead and, just bumped the mic. The very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plug in my device. One sec. Alright, so, first make sure, First, make sure that your device is actually plugged in. That's very important. So open up your browser of choice. This is a very fresh install of macOS, just to show, no matter what state your computer's in, this script should get the software up and running. So you are going to want to go ahead and go into the link in the title on GitHub. So it is github.com/jcat4. /BennVenn _JoeyJoeBags _Mac. Again, that is in the description. Go ahead and hit enter. Yep, so you're going to come here, and what you want to do first is this clone or download button. You are going to want to click that and go ahead and download zip. So that is going to download a zip file. You can either access it through here, or of course, open up your Finder window and go to downloads. This should be where it is. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and you'll see that this is pretty basic. All you've got is the README, you've got a requirements.txt, which is the Python stuff required for Ben's code, which is here and lightly modified. We're still working on it. And then you'll see this run.command. This run.command is what you are ultimately going to want to click on, and something as a disclaimer is you are going to want to make absolutely sure that this is in the same directory as the Python script and the requirements.txt file. That is very necessary. So once you click on this, you will see something called a terminal try to open, but something you might see is this run.command can't be opened because it is from an unidentified developer. Now, this is something called Gatekeeper on macOS. That's very common. Of course, I don't have a developer signature or anything with Apple because that costs money, and so this is not signed. They're just trying to protect you. And that's okay. You can still run it. So go ahead and hit OK, and what you're going to want to do is go to your settings. The quickest way to do that is to go over here to the little Apple symbol in the top left. Click on that and go to System Preferences. So it's going to open this window. Up in the top row, you're going to want to go to this security and privacy icon. It looks like a house with a combination lock on it. And once you're in there, under the General tab, down here, allow apps to be downloaded from. App Store and identified developers should already be ticked. If not, you're going to want to click on this lock down here, and it'll ask you to enter in your machine's password, and you'll be able to, click on it and then lock it right back up. But assuming this is locked, you're going to see this run.command was blocked. You're going to want to click open anyway. It'll ask you to confirm. Yep, go ahead and open it. And again, you'll see this terminal window open. So something that is first going to happen is it is going to attempt to install something called Xcode command line tools. You are going to want to press enter to authorize this. It is going to ask you for your password, so you're going to have some kind of administrative access on your machine. So I am going to go ahead and enter that password, hit enter, and it is just going to sit here and do some installing for a while. So I'll catch back up with you as soon as it's done. And just a disclaimer, depending on your network connection, this could take a little while. I can't remember how big this file is. I think it's like 100, maybe 200 megabytes, something like that. But yeah, just be patient. It'll do its thing. So yep, now we play the waiting game. You know what? While we're waiting for this script To install, I'm just going to go ahead and briefly explain what this is doing for you in case you are somebody that's hesitant or paranoid. So the first thing that this script is going to be doing is installing something called Homebrew. It is a package manager for macOS, and it makes it really easy to fetch up-to-date packages that would be needed to actually run BennVenn software. So that's what's happening first, but Homebrew actually requires Xcode command line tools to be installed, which is what's happening now. So once that is done, you can actually come to the README and it'll briefly explain everything that happens. So once Homebrew's done, it'll install Python 3. What Ben wrote is a Python script, so of course you'll need Python to run it. pip3, it is a Python specific package manager. It's something that you can use to actually install dependencies for the Python code. So it's more or less just little bundles of additional Python code that, you know, people can reuse. There's no sense in rebuilding the wheel, right? libUSB, it is a library that allows you to interface with USB devices. So something that's super awesome about macOS that we don't have to worry about, that the Windows folks have to worry about, is driver signing. The Windows folks have to do a lot of annoying, meticulous things to actually get the device to work on their machine. We don't have to do that. We just need to install this and it runs right out of the box and it all works. pipenv, I'm going to be installing a virtual environment for Python on your machine. And it will essentially help segregate what the code is doing from the rest of the machine, just to make sure that nothing, nothing gets in the way. Oh, looks like we have something. Yep. So brew installed. So now it's doing the rest of the stuff where, it's installing Python, it's doing all the other stuff. But yeah, once the virtual environment is set up, it's going to essentially set up the code to run in that virtual environment. And in the future, if we ever do any kind of update functionality, it will make it a lot easier to kind of work with a clean slate. I just want to make sure that nothing here will ever get in the way of anything you're ever trying to do. So yeah, you can see it's validating and installing everything. And something else as a disclaimer here is this takes long the first time you run it because it has to do a lot of setup and downloading. But the second time you run this, it's going to be very fast. It's just going to validate that everything's in order. So right now it's taking minutes. Eventually it's going to take seconds, and I'll show you that. So we're nearing the end, and yep. So you'll see currently running software, and here we go. Gen 3 is a work in progress. It's thinking, and yep, here we go. So something to note is I am working off of BennVenn's 3.36 version, which is a beta. And again, this code is lightly modified, and we're going to continue to modify it just to improve a few little things for macOS specifically. We already talked to Ben about this. He's cool with it. And we will do everything we can to keep our code up to date with his as he adds new functionality. So something that I have in here is a SpongeBob game for the Game Boy Color, an authentic copy. So you can go ahead and, read the cart header. It's going to think, and you can see ROM title, it's here, yada, 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 and you can actually see what's getting spit out in the terminal back here. So I want to first show you, so you're pretty much off to the races at this point. So if you want to get out, you can, but I just want to show you a few little issues that they don't break the functionality. It's just a little annoying, and these are things that we're aware of and working on, but I want to be able to show those to you. So let's say I want to go ahead and make a copy of this, right? So you go to your GBC generic, okay. I'm in a VM right now, so it's having some trouble. Okay, that's actually really annoying. God damn it. Okay. Yep, okay, so, yeah, it's a little weird. Okay. Alright, so let's say that I want to copy this game, right? I want to dump the ROM. So you go to cart type, GBC generic, and you want to dump the ROM. So it's going to tell you, like, hey, where do you want to go? I am going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to call it SpongeBob. Yep. So this is the first issue right here. I'm going to hit save. It's the screen is more or less locked up. That's not a huge issue. Oh. Okay, yeah, this happens sometimes. This is also something we're working on. Okay, try it again. Dump ROM. Okay, it's broken. God damn it. Okay, so what you're seeing right now is another common issue. I think it's an issue with libUSB, but you'll see I'm trying to run it, and it's like, hooray, great, yada, yada, yada. Okay, yeah, so you just try to rerun it a few times, and it works. This is something else we're aware of. I'm sorry, I don't really know what to tell you about that. There's a few things we're working on. But, yeah, so again, read cart header, SpongeBob, I want to dump the cart. Cool. So let's do dump ROM, and I want to go to, I want to dump it to my desktop. We'll do SpongeBob. And I'm going to do .gbc because it's a Game Boy Color game. So again, screen locks up. This kind of doesn't go away. It's an issue we're working on, but you can see back here, it is actually logging everything that it is dumping. So just wait on that. So this ROM is about 1 megabyte in size, I believe. Yep, so you'll see the screen is now responsive again. You'll get done, and if I actually go to my desktop, let me go ahead and create a new tab here. Go to my desktop, you will see the first one that failed. I'm going to get rid of that. And then you'll see SpongeBob.gbc. Now, I don't have an emulator on this machine because it's a fresh install. You can see some nice artifacting from my VM software. Thank you, Parallels, for that. But yeah, no, it's here. And something I can do is I am going to go ahead and remove my SpongeBob game. And I am going to stick in a reproduction cartridge of Shantae. Okay, so it is in. So Shantae is a pretty finicky game. We got it to work, though, which is cool. So if you read cart header, aha, you'll see that it's Shantae. So let's say, since this is a reproduction cart and the memory is not write protected, I want to turn this into a SpongeBob game. Sure. So go ahead and go to your cart type, Chinese BV5 clone cart, and flash ROM. Again, here's one of those issues. I'm going to select this and hit open. Freezes up completely. But you can actually see back here, it is doing a lot of work. What it's doing right now is erasing everything and getting it all set up. But yeah, see, this is one of those issues. We have an issue filed on the Git repository to try and make this more asynchronous so that everything will kind of close down and this will just happen in the background. Especially since you'll need to actually be able to get a hold of this window to see what it's doing. But yeah, so this part takes a little bit more time. I believe this is something that actually happens on Windows again. Oh, yeah. Disclaimer, I don't have a Windows machine. I plan on getting a Windows license soonish, just so I can kind of test in a virtual machine all of this stuff to kind of get an idea of what's specific to the Mac. But yeah, you'll see that you got this erased message over here, and that you will see that it is actually writing to the cartridge. Now again, this is about a 1 megabyte ROM. Shouldn't take super duper long. I apologize if you hear the fans whirling on my laptop in the background. But yeah, just be patient and wait on this. Okay, so now you will see writing complete and the screen is all of a sudden responsive. Imagine that. So yeah, come in here. You can see it's Shantae. If I try to read the cart header again, SpongeBob. I haven't removed the cartridge at all. So yeah, now it's a SpongeBob game. I could show you a video of the Shantae game actually playing as SpongeBob, but I'm not going to do that. Just take my word for it. It does work. But yeah, so I do acknowledge that there are still some issues that need to be worked out, but this is better than nothing, and it does work. You do have to deal with some gripes, and some of these gripes, again, I am hoping to, in the future, determine whether or not these are Mac specific or Windows specific. A few of the things that we have already worked out, we have confirmed are pretty much Mac specific. But yeah, we're going to keep working on this. If anybody has any gripes or suggestions or whatever, just let us know. I do want to give a great shout out to BBSan2K on Reddit. He is a really cool guy in Germany who reached out to me about a bug that I'd been experiencing but wasn't quite sure if it was truly a bug. I thought it was just something with BennVenn software, but apparently it worked on Windows. He has a Windows machine to actually test against this, and he figured out a way to get the cart header to read all the time with every device, regardless of whether you're on Mac OS or Windows. So that has been fixed and merged into the branch. So shout out to him. He's talking to me and coming up with some really cool ideas to help get this going. So yeah, I really like that. So yeah, if anybody ever wants to contribute, whatever, feel free to fork, submit pull requests to the repo, or just message us on Reddit or wherever else. But yeah, have fun. We will keep you up to date with everything that changes, and have a good one out there.